Baby, I can't lie, you look amazing. Like the models in my Playboy pages. Flashback.
Let's go over roster first. Let's go position by position, just show you guys kind of what I got. Quarterback room hasn't changed. Jalen Hurts, 86 speed, 89 acceleration. So we'll be looking to build upon him this season before re-signing him to a long-term contract with Dwayne and then Kyle Allen. So two Redskins quarterbacks that are already here. Obviously, running back room hasn't changed. We got Ty Johnson, Rodney Anderson, and Adrian Killins Jr., with Johnson getting the start and Killins Jr. being the backup to him. No fullback on the roster, obviously. The five receivers that we chose to continue this, well, actually really start this series with, was Dan, who you guys will remember from our other series. Dan Chasia, who is a safety in Madden 20 but a receiver in Madden 21. So he's got 94 speed, 95 excel. He is backed up by Emmanuel Hall, followed by Jeff Thomas, and then Jeff Smith, I believe. Tight end, we actually have a really good, we have a really solid team to build on overall, but we got a really good tight end room as well. We got Hakeem Butler, that 88, 87 with the speed and excel. He's actually backed up by Josh Oliver, followed by Josiah, I have no clue. But then Jay Sternberger is actually the 4-string tight end, and he is usually put in at fullback, but I think I've actually moved Josh Oliver there just because I wanted to see how he'd perform there. Left tackle, we have Muti starting, and then Christian Sr. backing him up, Davis, and then Wes Martin backing him up. Cushenberry, who's not backed up by anybody in particular. Chuma Edoga, who's actually I think Nick Harris is starting here over Chuma. And then Isaiah Wilson and Jawan Taylor. Actually, Jawan Taylor is probably starting at that right guard position. Left end, we moved linebacker Voshan Joseph. We moved him to left end, and we cut the guy who was here, so he's got the 87 in the 90. So we might look to build upon him. Okura, who we traded for, is at the right end position, so a ton of talent with to build depth upon. Here at the defensive tackle position, we got Tim Settle, who is actually a Redskin in real life, and then Kalen Saunders, Washington Jr., and Costin, who is actually injured. I think he's out for 6 weeks with torn knee cartilage already, so you can see the injuries have impacted our team a little. He was actually second or third string, I believe, but now it's Tim Settle, followed by Washington Jr., followed by Saunders there, so not really losing out on anything there, just kind of his development is what we're losing out on, so not too crucial there. Akeem Gathers will be our starting left outside linebacker, followed by Troy Dye and then Rashad Smith. We only have one middle linebacker posted at the middle linebacker position just because I like to develop the speed runner category for the speed rusher, I should say, for the linebackers, and you can't develop that at middle linebacker. You can only develop run stopper, field general, and pass coverage. So really we just have a kind of a guy there who's like average. So we got Jabari Bronchitis. And then at the right outside linebacker, we got Kaliki Hudson, Malik Jefferson, who we were able to pick up. You guys might remember him from our other series. I'm not sure if I had him in the other series, but I definitely used him before. And then Noah Dawkins. Malik, I believe... No, actually, Kaliki is starting at that middle linebacker position, and Noah Dawkins is starting at the right outside linebacker position. For cornerbacks, we have Fulton, Scott, Gendry, Dorsey, Rogers, and Mark Fields, who you guys might remember from our other series. He actually plays, he's a cornerback that we converted to safety in that game. So he'll be kind of the last guy on this roster, but we're starting Gendry, obviously, Dorsey, followed by Rogers, Scott, and then Fulton in that order. And then Mark Fields is just kind of like a safety guy. Safeties, we have PJ Locke III backed up by Troy Apke. So great speed all around, ton of good players. Tucker McCain is our kicker, 97 kick power. I actually did work on my kicking a lot in practice mode. He can kick against wind. He can kick about 58 to 60 yards depending on the power, but with wind, I mean, he could probably kick about a 65 yarder with great accuracy. The 69 accuracy doesn't really affect him that much. And then our punter is Braden Mann, who's got a huge leg as well. I mean, they both got cannons for legs. On our practice squad, we have Greg Stroman, cornerback, Josh Jackson, cornerback. We'll be looking to develop them and potentially sign them in the offseason. DeAndre Walker, left outside linebacker, Isaiah Wright, Greg Jennings, both receivers, both with speed. Not quite enough to make the roster. Cameron Curl, who's just kind of a development guy, just kind of a guy we needed to fill out this roster. Plus, he's playing really good for the team in real life, but he's just kind of an emergency situation on this team. Michael Jordan is a left guard that we have on this practice squad. James Smith Williams is the right end, who was on this who was on the roster, but we had to move him to practice squad because we moved linebackers there with a little bit more speed. Charles, a left guard, and then Asmir Bile, who I think we traded for or potentially picked up as a free agent. Either way, he wasn't able to make the final roster cuts just due to his speed being a little bit lower than a couple other guys. So we moved him to our practice squad, and we will develop him there. So that is that for the roster. You can see we are 68 across the board, except for our special teams, which is probably like probably 70. I think both those dudes are 70. So you can see 68 offense, 68 defense with these starters that we say here. Special teams, obviously he's a 70, he's a 68. Then we got Dan Chesia, who is 86, has both of our returners backed up by Rogers in both situations. Cushenberry being the long snapper, and then Mann, kicker, which we should probably switch that, but I don't think it really makes that much of a difference. Let's put McMahon in there just because he's got, or McCann, just because he's got a bigger leg. Left, we're going to have Noah Dawkins coming out that left side a lot, and then Davis Gather coming out the right side. Linebacker, the sub linebacker is always going to be Kaliki. And then we have Tyler Johnson backed up by Adrian Killens Jr. for both of the running backs specialist positions. And then we got Jeff Smith coming out of the slot receiver position. And then we went with Troy Apke in the slot cornerback position just because he's got great speed. Obviously, you can see our practice squad filled out here. So no superstars, a few star development traits on this team, but not a whole lot of that are starters besides maybe the kicker, or I think the punter was. Let's move on to the salaries, see who we're going to have to, obviously we're going to have to clear our cap penalty for the next few years just to get some of those guys off our roster. Dwayne Haskins being the highest paid on this team. You can see a lot of this roster is under $1 million, either signed on their rookie deals or they are free agents that we signed. So let's see if we can see which players we'll have to re-sign before we go to week 1. D tackle will probably sign a lot of the, if we can get these guys on minimum deals before the off season, like Mark Fields, I could probably get him on a 7-year, $550,000. Week 6, we could probably get him. Obviously, Kyle Allen's not going to get a huge contract that he wants. The Brett Maher is not even on this team anymore. I don't know why he's there. Rodney Anderson, we could sign to a long-term deal potentially, just to have him on this roster just in case. Jeff Thomas, yeah, we could probably get him on a max deal for, pennies on the dollar. Along with Adrian Killens, who we could potentially make our star. So we could get a lot of these guys back. Obviously, a lot of these guys will be able to bring back on a $550,000 deal, which we're only going to allow ourselves to sign minimum contracts. So if we get back a lot of these guys, that's what it'll be on, or we'll just have to let them walk to free agency. Let's see if there was anything else we needed to go over. Quickly, we can look at our schedule for the upcoming season. Obviously, we're in, a wishy-washy division, but in Madden, they play a lot better than they would play in real life. So we got to face the Eagles. I would like to believe we can get a win there. Cardinals, that might be a tough one. Browns, that will be a tough one. Ravens, Rams. So we'll have about a 4-week stretch where we're going to have potential playoff teams that we'll have to face off against. And then we face the Giants, who should be pretty laid back, and the Cowboys, who will have a dynamic offense that we'll probably have to keep up with. And then we get the Giants again, so that should be 2 or 3 easy wins. So we could have at least 4 or 5 wins going into the bye week, hopefully. And then we get the Giants, Lions, Bengals, which is a great 3 easy wins. It's the Steelers, who are probably stacked. I bet their roster looks insane. Niners that are healthy, so that could potentially be a huge game that we will have to perform very well in order to win. And then Seahawks, that could go either way. I mean, I'm not sure how well their defense plays. Panthers, that shouldn't be too hard of a game. I mean, we will have to face off against Teddy Bridgewater, who's probably got some pretty good accuracies. He's going to have CMC in the backfield, I believe. So that could potentially go either way. And then we face the Eagles again, who I'd like to believe that we could beat. And we do have Jalen Hurts as our starting quarterback. So hopefully he's a little bit, we're a little bit more developed with how he likes to play. Obviously, this season we can go over the play style. I'm going to run a lot of I form. I still do have that PA wheel shot. I got a lot of run plays. I'll probably be doing a lot of running back screens, like play actions, a lot of dig routes, a lot of drag routes, probably a lot of tight end post routes. I'd like to get as many people involved in the offense as possible. We can't really see preseason stats, but I tried to spread the ball out between a lot of players. And then defensively, we're probably going to be coming after people, and then probably we'll probably split it like maybe 60-40 or 70-30 between heavy blitz and then sitting back in like a 5-man coverage. Try to take away all the slant routes. Those are easy routes that the quarterbacks like to throw, so we'll try to get jump easy slant routes and then cover the deep routes with the safeties when we're not in a blitz look. So that's kind of the look that I'm like trying to get into, like a balanced offense and then like a little bit blitz heavy defense with all the speed we got here. But that'll do it for this video, guys. Be sure to stay tuned for week 1 against the Eagles. Look forward to that matchup. That might be a close game. We are playing this one really close to the vest. I mean, we got a 68 overall team, which is just as difficult. Kicking's a little bit more difficult. Men 21 compared to 20. We have injuries on, so that way it'll add another dynamic to this team in this series. So we could potentially lose games just because we know maybe our quarterback gets injured, a running back gets injured, and we have to play pass heavy, or rely on a rookie running back in Killens Jr., who, might not perform as well. But we'll have all that and more coming your way soon. Be sure to check out all the new content I got coming out of Red Dead Online, Among Us streams, Warzone streams, Rainbow Six streams. Obviously, Madden 20 series is still coming out. Look forward to the Grand Ages Medieval series. That series is starting to ramp up at about 24, 25 episodes. Potentially on like 30 or 35 when this episode comes out. But be sure to look forward to all that stuff and more coming to the channel soon. So thank you for liking, thank you for subbing, and thank you for continuing to support this channel.
Baby, I can't lie, you look amazing. Like the models in my Playboy pages. Flashback to Miami.